This is Hard Facts.
It's Hard Facts.
Hard Facts.
On 95.1 Nigeria Info.
Alrighty, 15 minutes actually after 3. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info. How's your day going? Today is the 6th of the year. Like the 6th day in the 6th month of 2024. You know, I bet when it gets to 2026, we say 060626. It still would not connect properly like when it was 2006. Yeah, well, thank you so much for staying with your talk station, passionate, trustworthy, conversational station, 95.1 Nigeria Info. And I'm sure you've been having a fantastic conversation from the morning show, what's happening at Abuja, the Sunnyside show that just wrapped up, and now I welcome you to Hard Facts with yours truly, Kimberly Wachuku. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the digital Oracle, that is. OTF, the fellow, Ochanyawan, Madam Speaker. And I will say yes to them all. I'm delighted to start off the show with you in our regular way. For a while now, the I Beg to Differ debate has been interrupting our broadcasting on this particular belt. But it's been fun, it's been great, it's been informative, educative. As a matter of fact, the number of offices I visited, I'm like, oh, I've been following the debate. I love it. I said, yeah, we're taking a break today. However, the semi-final is tomorrow, guys. And it will be head-on-head by the 4 who scale through the round of 8 tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. Mark your calendar and the time because it's going to start a little earlier, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock for I Beg to Differ semi-finals that we started last week Monday. And on Monday, the 10th of June 2024 will be the grand finale where we get to know he or she or he, any which way you want to put it, who would make 1 million naira with strong argument. And then we'll get to, the first two or the last two who face off at the finale definitely are qualified for Lagos. Then after that, the secretariat, the judges and all of that will compute by point basis, and others will join them to represent the federal capital in Lagos. So aside from the excitement we have from having someone who wow us with his or her debate, we definitely want to send our best soldiers forward to Lagos because, man, we don't want to be chewed and thrown out like the Lagos guy said, we're going to chew you guys and throw you out. Like, really? The battle line is drawn. We're going to bring our 4 best and let's see if you can chew that easily. All right, it's a bit difficult to swallow, I show you. All right, people. So we're going to start off with the roundtable, looking at some of the big stories driving conversation. A certain former governor is in the news. We're going to talk about that. And a few of the stories that you have been talking about in your places of work, newspaper stand, when you're at the restaurant, you're eating. And you know how they say, don't talk and eat. But no, Niger issues are just too much that no table manners. But do we even really observe those table? Is it our table manner or Western table manner? Because, I mean, it feels like the dining table is a place where you have family conversation. Growing up, we used to look forward to all of us just being there, gathered round, and that's when we're catching up, we're talking. So I don't know, we're not raised with that manners of just not talking while you're eating. I think it's more of something that when I grew up and left the house, yeah, okay, just try and adopt it every now and again, but I'm not sold on it. So thank you very much. I have bad table manners if that's what you say. So if you're talking about these stories, I'm sure 1 or 2 of it will make the calls on the roundtable today. And then at the 4 o'clock, I'm sure 4:30, I have a guest coming in. Yes, with 4:30, yeah. The Colbert radio show will be on. And the 5 o'clock, I will be talking about minimum wage and a family of 6. We'll get your thoughts on it. It's going to be a family-based conversation, just looking at real life, how setting reality can make you adjust. You don't need people to advise you on setting numbers or setting planning, do ya? Setting economic indices and factors. It's just going to just help you reset properly. So we're going to talk about it as a family and the reality we're grappling with the inflation and whatnot. I would love to get your 2 cents or 2 kobo. 2 kobo is not what's nothing right now. So If I say 20 naira, it sounds huge, but it's not much either. So I'll get your 2 cents on it when we get there. And we'll take eyewitness report, situation update, and more. Yeah, I went to the first headquarters today. Apparently a lot of Nigeria Info fans were there, so we're like, oh, Kim, shout out. I said I definitely will at the start of my show. All right, doing a special report with the Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism on the Safe School initiative, and was privileged to speak with the CP, who is the coordinator of the Safe School Initiative at the police force, and also their technical partner who are coming up with the technological aspect of it. I'll fill you in on details of that when the report comes out or when it's close to coming out. There's still plenty of work to be done in gathering my stories together. And then there were nice people like Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Usman, who were like, yeah, Nigerian Info. Just, I'm always surprised how people just recognize the voice. It's not an introduction. You just said, hello, can I please direct me to this office, and like, Nigeria Info, Kimberly. I used to think the mic alters the quality of our voice a bit, but some people, they listen enough to know. Even if I laughed once and somebody knew it was me. I'm like, oh boy, this is serious. So yeah, thank you guys for being amazing. I appreciate you. And a reminder that the police is your friend. Make of it whatever you please. I've told you, they are your friend. Full stop. All right, then, let's get to the roundtable proper and look at some of the big stories driving conversation. And we might not take all of it, but definitely some of it will make the news. Now, the federal government wants you to disregard the subsidy payment and the fiscal policy document that was making the round, that we are still paying some subsidy on it. And, I saw Garba, Shehu Sani's tweet, and I'm like, subsidy is gone. We're paying 4-point-something trillion for subsidy. Which is it? And a lot of people were torn when that document went viral as to, oh, didn't you say subsidy is gone? How come you're paying so much for subsidy at the end of the day? I think we're getting very emotional with this subsidy situation. It's now boiled to personal conviction. If you truly believe that we're paying subsidy, the price hasn't changed in recent time. It's remained basically stable. It gives, the hint that someone is ensuring it stays that way. By someone, I mean the government. And they're not going to just do it by, oh, thank you very much, universe. The price is stable. Definitely a lot of work and funds and stuff will go into stabilizing it. Now, for some reason, because the president started off his government of renewed hope with subsidy is gone, it just feels like the government is bent on holding on to that narrative that we do not pay subsidy. Well, if it makes them sleep better at night. It said, while reacting, the federal government is insisting that the era of petrol subsidy is gone for good. While reacting to a leaked draft copy report of the Accelerated Stabilization and Advancement Plan, ASAP, presented by President Tinubu by the Finance Minister Wale Edun on Tuesday. The ASAP, designed to address key challenges affecting the reform initiative and stimulate development in various sectors of the economy, showed that the estimated expenditure on fuel subsidy for 2024 is 5.4 trillion, a sum of 1.8 trillion naira more than the amount that was spent in 2023. Now, at current rate, expenditure on fuel subsidy is projected to reach 5.4 trillion naira by the end of 2024. This compares unfavorably with 3.6 trillion in 2023 and 2.0 trillion in 2022. A draft copy of the ASAP presented by Edu reads. Now, reacting to this, Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, in a statement today has urged the public and the media to disregard the document. He said that the leaked document on fiscal policy proposal is not official. The attention of the presidency has been drawn to two fiscal policy documents in circulation that are being given wide coverage by the mainstream media and social media platforms. And one of the documents, titled Inflation Reduction, Price Stability, that's fiscal policy measure, etc. Order 2024, is being shared as if it were an executive order signed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The order is a 65-page draft document with the title Accelerated Stabilization and Advancement Plan, ASAP, which contains suggestions on how to improve the Nigerian economy. President Tinubu received a copy of the draft on Tuesday, that he's now urging the public and the media to disregard the two documents, cease further discussion on them. None is an approved official document of the federal government. They are all policy proposals that are still subject to review at the highest level of government. Indeed, one has draft clearly written on it. But we talk about these things already. Why shouldn't we? Even if it's a draft form. Now, it's a different thing to misinform by saying, oh, this is it. This is categorically what the government is doing. But if it is a proposal that is being sent and received by the president, it means something is in the work. Now, if they're proposing a certain amount of money for subsidy, does it mean that they've been subsidizing before and this is just the building on it? Or is it a proposal to say, well, subsidy needs to come back to cushion the effect of it? I know Mr. Onanuga is trying to say disregard it, don't talk about it anymore. It's a draft. The president received it. It's not a policy, but you know, it's a democracy. If there's a proposal and it leaks by some chance, it's not the first time we're talking about leaked document, are we? It's a good thing that sometimes you can, through the peephole, get to see what they are proposing behind the scene and engage in some level of national discourse to saying, all right, what does this mean for us, for the economy? What does this mean for our purchase of fuel? What does this mean for, human development? What does this mean for a country of people who are grappling with the weight, very weakened purchasing strength, and looking at setting documents and looking at proposals that are made? And if it's coming from the Minister of Finance's office, which he didn't say is wrong, he's just saying is a draft, it's been received. However, it's a proposal. It's not a policy document. So it's not altogether thrown out the window. He's just saying perhaps we should stop talking about it because it's a proposal, not an official policy by the president. All right. Make of it what you please. But in the proposal that was received by the president for the ASAP, you see what is suggested to address key challenges affecting the reform initiative and stimulate development. There is a proposal, in this proposal, to estimate expenditure on fuel subsidy for 2024 as 5.4 trillion naira. And it begs the question. Now, I know Mr. Onanuga says subsidy is gone for good, but, there'll always be room for debate to saying, well, we can contest that, given certain factors that are at play at the moment, to saying, indeed, the government is coming in to hold things up and the price. But it's left for Nigerians to want to expend energy on that or move on to something else. Like, if you demand that subsidy be reinstated, perhaps the argument will come up in the near future and say, why do you think the price has been stable? Maybe the pressure has not been intense enough, but the government wants it this way through Mr. Bayo Nanuga, and not to talk about it, but it's a talking point nonetheless, and we'll get your 2 cents on it in a bit, what you make of it. You honestly believe that subsidy is gone for good, even though you've been buying fuel at almost the same rate, with the independent marketer some time back telling you that it should have gone up, but the government assured you it wasn't going to, and it did not. Well, you let me know your thoughts on that in a bit. And, this pesky little issue we had some time back with the last administration about open grazing, to be or not to be Ruga and all whatnot. Apparently, it's not settled yet because there's still all kinds of level of deliberation, aside from the state level where some states have, passed their own state legislating on it and saying no open grazing. Designated areas are assigned, albeit controversial, for people to get ranches, and shy of calling it Ruga, but a ranch, because the operational definition of Ruga is different from a ranch, Nigerian context, that is, and how it applies. So we're back on the national level with more of the debate as to restricting the movement of grazing and introducing ranching. And for a country that has had to grapple with so much insecurity, directly and indirectly tied to grazing, you think we would have wrapped this up, and moved on to something else, like, find interface with all sides, with all parties, and find a modern way to solving this age-long problem that is refusing to find a modern solution. Would have found it. But we're still at that deliberating stage where people are still saying, no, it doesn't work for us. And you start to really wonder. We did 8 years of that. And this is 1 year into the Renewed Hope administration. And we're still at that conversational stage on the federal level. Well, Northern Senators and the Meati Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MACBAN, has rejected the bill seeking the establishment of ranching as the only viable alternative for cattle breeding in Nigeria. The National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission Establishment Bill scaled the second reading on the floor of the Senate yesterday after very intense debate. The bill aims to establish ranches for herders in their states of origin, replacing the current practice of open grazing. Now, if enacted, the Commission would oversee the management, preservation, and control of ranches nationwide. Nigeria has struggled herder-farmer conflict for years, which led to loss of lives and property, and even to a certain degree, degenerated to the point where some people picked up arms against people, communities, and even themselves. In this lead debate, the bill sponsor, Senator Titus Zam, APC Benue, said creating ranches in pastorally state of origin would prevent conflict and promote peaceful coexistence. The bill proposes that ranches be established in the pastoralist state of origin without forcing it upon other states or communities that do not have pastoralists as citizens. Now, the bill proposes that interested parties and stakeholders in the livestock business must seek and obtain approval of their host community to establish ranches for peaceful coexistence, according to the sponsor, and said banning open grazing through legislation will resolve the frequent clashes between farmers and herders, and that the absence of regulatory framework or legislation on pastoralism, livestock mobility had created a chaotic scenario of survival of the fittest between sedentary farmers and nomadic herders in Nigeria, that now is the time to bring a law to stop open grazing. It's old-fashioned, it's hazardous, burdensome, and must be discarded. Now, before the bill scaled second reading, he had faced strong opposition from some northern senators who insisted that herders should have the freedom to reside anywhere in Nigeria as guaranteed by Section 41 of the 1999 Constitution. Senator Adamu Alero, PDP Kebbi, maintained that confining herders to their state of origin violates their constitutional right. And the bill proposes that the pastoralists should be confined to their state of origin. This is against the constitution because they are Nigerians and should be allowed to move freely in Nigeria. Now, there's a lot to get from this and argue. And with this argument, you can't be too sure to say one side of the argument is wrong or right. Because constitution permits me as a Nigerian to want to reside and do my business anywhere in this country. I do have that right. I enjoy it. And to say, because you do a certain kind of business, you can't come and do it in this state because you're not originally from here, is taking fundamental right away from me. And that is absolutely, completely unacceptable. Now, we know how controversial, yes, this whole grazing business has been over time, the kind of security threat it posed. I can understand why someone would say, confine it to their state. And I can also understand why someone will argue and say, no, I beg to differ. You can confine people to their state because they do a kind of business when they are Nigerians and should. Perhaps from your input, we get to see how you interpret this and what you make of this. If you ask, the third side of the story is, can't ranches be set up in every state possible that people who are there are interested in the ranch business? Either they are from that state, according to your state of origin, that you'd love to bring out from primary, secondary, university till people die, that as long as they are hardworking citizens of Nigeria, they can set up their ranch if the government structure is in that state, and they're not going to be denied business because they are Nigerians. Why confine them to a certain state because they are from there and do a certain kind of business? Will that not open like a Pandora's box for people to say, okay, people from this region are known to do this certain kind of business, and so do it in your own state of origin? Perhaps they need a modification, but I would love to get your take on that in a bit. Seeing I don't have a guest, we might as well start. I've given you two stories. Call me up, 0700 951 0000, or you can call 0809 5974869 or 0809 9930137. The third story is going to be on Kaduna State former Governor El Rufai and the probes around mismanagement, corruption, and all whatnot. I'll give you detail of that in a bit. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Yeah, can you hear me loud and clear?
Crystal clear. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim. My name is Uncle Tom. I'm calling from Lugo. Let me start with the oil, the 5 point something million. You see, government should be very open. Removal of subsidy means we have been making more money. So, to say that 2024-25 budget will have 5 point something as a contemplated subsidy in the budget is unacceptable, because already you remove subsidy and you are making more money. So why are you contemplating putting 5.4 trillion into your 2024-25 budget? I hope you understand me very clearly. Yeah, we have more money, but the implication of removing a subsidy at the nation. So the issue of additional money that will complement what government's expenditure for oil, fuel subsidy shouldn't arise at all. Then on the cattle ranching is good for all, but if you look at the historical background, in the north, all the cattle, the cattle headers were concentrated in the north. But during the dry season, they found their way southwards where you have green grasses. So what they are saying is that confine them in one place and give them facilities. I remember former Minister Audu Ogbe brought some grasses from Brazil. Those grasses are the correct feed for this cattle. And once with those grasses, just only 100 cattle, you see them, they grow very fat and the rest of them. So give them land. But what they were doing that was wrong, which has caused this problem, they were bringing their cattle and waiting through people's farm this thing, which is very, very painful. Otherwise, if their movement was purely on the bush route and they were not interfering with the farmers, this thing, they would not.
But Uncle Tom, just before you go, a direct question just before you go. Do you think it's proper to confine ranching to just states where pastoralists are formed, seeing that they are Nigerians, the ones who are Nigerians, can do their business anywhere?
That's why I said the historical background was that because they were basically in the northern part of the country, but that is during rainy season. But as dry season steps in, the whole north becomes arid. So they now begin to migrate from the north to the south. Not that they are restricted or whatever. And in their movement, you see, they know.
All right, Mr. Tom.
Hello?
Yeah. Just wrap up.
Okay. So I'm saying that it's not that they are being restricted. States should give them land to create their cattle ranch.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. States should give them land for their ranches. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
My name is Godfrey.
Go ahead, Godfrey.
No one prevents anybody from living wherever he or she wants to live. If they want to stay in the south, they can stay. But if the law says that they should not do that business there, I don't think that is wrong. There are southerners that are in the north. They were told not to sell alcohol. They have been abiding by that law for a long time. So if southerners who are in the north have been prevented from selling alcohol and they've been abiding by it, nothing stops them from doing the same thing. They should stay in the north and do their business, and then if they want to sell, they can sell. So it's the same thing. Alcohol is not sold in Kano and many other northern states. And nobody is raising an eyebrow they didn't complain about it. It's now that they know that the law permits them to do their business wherever they want, with all the killing and the arms that they are carrying about. Thank you.
All right, Godfrey. Yes, there's certain states where alcohol is not openly sold, perhaps confined to just very few places based on the laws that they have there if they reach Sharia. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
My name is Frank. I'm calling from Cairo.
Go ahead, Frank from Cairo.
You see, the intendment of that bill is what we should be looking at, not all the sentiment. Nobody is confiding anybody anywhere. Nobody is saying that you are not a Nigerian. We have a problem in our hands, spanning years. A serious situation demands serious attention. We have a problem. Before this bill was initiated, something has been going on. Are we happy with the way things have been going on in the area of killings and clashes between brothers and brothers? Let us stop reading all this meaning. Nobody is telling the northerners. It is always the northern elite when something it does not seem to favor them that bring about the sentiment. Nobody. The bill is not saying about where you come from, do business. Okay.
Did you listen to the content of that bill? Because the bill did categorically say that pastoralists will be restricted to the state where they are from. So it's not
saying that everybody in the north is a pastoralist. That don't they have other businesses that they are doing in other areas? But the intendment of the bill should not be thrown away with all the sentiment. That is for that. Talking about petroleum subsidy, you see, business in this part of the world.
You know, you did not respond to that particular story constructively, really.
You said?
You did not respond to it constructively in the sense that the bill proposal is that pastoralists should be confined to their state. And you're saying what exactly? I didn't quite get where you stand on this.
What I'm saying is that there's a lot of sentiment going into it now. Somebody is raising the issue of alcohol in the north and the south. That's not the thing. This is how we throw serious matters away. The idea is to solve a problem that we have in our hands. If telling them to do that business that will solve this problem, so be it. Let's have peace. Our problem is that we're too sentimental on serious matters. That's my own take. So talking about the subsidy, you see, government in this part of the world is always secretive. Governance should be something we shouldn't bring about the seat here. Something has emerged, and you are telling us not to talk about it. It is true, something is going on. And we should be clear about this thing so that we don't look like, are we babies? We know what's going on. So the fact that something is going on, I just not worried about it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate. Let's hear this caller next. Sorry about that. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello, the Oracle.
Yes, you're welcome.
I greet you.
Welcome to the show, sir.
How is the digital and the Oracle, the gods? Please greet them for me.
Go ahead, sir.
The Oracle, my name is DJ and I'm calling from Kagini.
DJ from Kagini, welcome to the show.
Oracle, we must tell ourselves the truth. In this country, we pretend to live as one. If the reality comes, we will know we are not one. We'll be trying to exist as one. If the reality comes, we will know that we are not one. Some of these laws they are bringing in, it's just because of the issues that is on ground that is leading to it. Years back in the 80s, we were not having issues like this. In my place, where we are from the south, cows move around, we don't have issues. When it became a challenge that someone will go to his farm and the cow rearers will come and destroy their own farm, believing that their own is better than what you are doing. That is where the challenge came from. So in a way to bring it to a standard that let it not be that you are angry, me I'm angry. Let's look at it holistically. We are not really enemy to ourselves, but in some ways, when certain things happen, we understand that sentiment will come in and people will not be happy. They want you to override another person's own, which is our challenge. In the past administration, when President Buhari was the president, we see a lot of things that happen. A lot of people were really not happy. But they kept quiet. If you look at it, when the Metis allies were coming, they were even making an announcement, nothing will happen, they will enter people's land. Why? Are you more Nigerian than any other person? Don't say so. Whatever business you are doing or the farming you are doing, is it more better than any other person that is farming corn or farming yam or farming mango? No. Your own is good. My own is good. Let's look at ways for it not to become an issue. That is what we are looking at. When other people were superimposing themselves on others, believing that their own is more better than, that is why bills like this are coming up. It's only to regulate us so that we confine ourselves in certain area. Me now that is a farmer, if I'm to farm yam, I will not take my farm to another place to go and farm. We are looking at it from the farming area, not the business area, because the people that are hearing this cow, they don't just sell. Those that are selling, they bring their cow, they use the vehicle, what was it called, this lorry, to carry their cow from one area to another area to the market where they will sell. But those that are doing nomadic farming, they take it from one end to another. So we need to just checkmate those things so that we can live in peace. And when it comes to the issue of subsidy, federal government, they come out to tell us that they are not paying anything. And I agree with them. If continuously say it not take us anywhere. My own is we don't have any business with buying fuel more than 15 naira in this country because we have abundance of it. God has blessed us with these mineral resources and it's supposed to go around everybody. We are supposed to be buying fuel 15 naira. So government to put mechanism in place so that we'll enjoy it.
All right, DJ, thank you very much. Let's hear another caller and then we'll get to the third story. Please turn off your radio.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you, ma?
I'm fine and well.
Thank you for that. Whoever brought up that I beg to defer debate, thank you so much. Those kids have been wonderful.
Good to know,
we look forward to tomorrow and the
Monday
and the grand finale. That's the World Cup.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm telling you, it's going to be explosive.
Indeed.
Anyway, coming back to the issues on grounds today, the first one I want to talk about is that of is the order from Mr. Bayo Ononuga that we should not discuss the proposed.
He did not say it's fake document. He just leaked and is a proposal. Remember that Mr. President, after the NLC protest, directed the Minister of Finance to send his proposal on what he recommends. So he gave a detailed report and sent. Some of it leaked.
So the point I'm even trying to make here is that Mr. Ononuga need not tell us not to discuss it, because by discussing it, we are also able to help government to see the fault lines in the proposal, because it's still a proposal. And in any case, what's wrong with discussing Nigeria's problem? I mean, these are proposals. So in the process of discussing it, one or two other brilliant ideas may come up.
True.
That may have escaped those who wrote the proposal. It's still a draft. So for God's sake, I don't see anything. If anything, it is those in the presidency that Ononuga should be talking to. Why did they allow it leak into the public place in the first instance when you know that Nigerians are talkative? With due respect, shouldn't have allowed it to leak into the public space. The moment it comes into the public space, it becomes something that we talk about. So Mr. Ononuga should please keep his order. We will discuss it, and then we will discuss it because it will benefit us. For instance, one of the proposals in that document is that TCN will be commercialized by the end of this year. And we are asking the question. I mean, if you look at item 7 on the proposal, item 7B, they're saying TCN talks about electricity, and it says TCN will be commercialized by the end of this year. And we are asking, are there documents that have reviewed the implications of commercializing a TCN? Otherwise, if you say by the end of this year, that's just about 7 months away. Are we going to rush into the privatization of another arm of the power sector and end up with the mess that we are having currently? I don't know whether it's what I'm saying, King. So, I mean, this is one of the reasons why we should be able to discuss the document and then be able to draw government's attention to some of the dangers. I think that's the second one. Then on the issue of ranching, just this point, I think it will be against the constitution to restrict the movement of Nigerians. I wouldn't know the intention of the intendment of the drafters of that law, but I think what should happen is that anyone who wants to invest in ranching and he finds any part of Nigeria conducive enough for that business, should be able to go to that part of the country and do whatever he wants to do to the benefit of all Nigerians. Not that we'll be talking about state of origin and then be negating the content of the national anthem that we have just referred to. It says, "Though tribe and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand." By the time you now restrict us to our state, we are cancelling the brotherhood. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Fadipe, for your take on that. And let's bring in the third story. If you're just tuning in, that's a roundtable. We started off with the report about the leaked document that have since gone viral. And Mr. Bayo Ononuga is saying, disregard it, media don't discuss it. I'm like, why exactly? It's not like a threat to national security, is it? Or a threat in any way. As a matter of fact, it's something that concerns people. Recommendation in which we recall that the president, when they had NLC called off the strike, NLC TUC, the president, they were ready to do above 60,000 naira minimum wage and directed the Minister of Finance to bring their own proposal forward within a certain time frame. And all of that has been sent to the president, which Mr. Bayo Ononuga confirmed that indeed the president has received. And several recommendations of what they propose as minimum wage has been making the round from the leaked document above the 60,000 naira. And also what we spent on subsidy in 2023 as 3.6 trillion naira. And they are projecting 5.4 trillion naira for first subsidy in 2024. I guess that's perhaps maybe the controversial part of it, the leaked document saying, the proposer. So if you're proposing 5.4 trillion and you said you spent these in 2023 and the president says subsidy is gone, why then is there a projection of this amount for this year? And it's doing a lot of heads in and they're asking questions and saying, does it mean the subsidy is still pretty much around? Is it disregarded? It's a proposal. Don't discuss it. Why not? So we're going to see what aspect of it the president goes with. And Mr. Fadipe also talked about even setting more parts of it, some of the unraveling since people started going through the document to saying the privatizing of the transmission company of Nigeria. I remember for a while, we're given the impression that the TCN has been grappling with so much saboteurs and sabotage, even from inside people, fire situation and all whatnot. So maybe the idea of privatizing it, that would take government's hand completely of it. I mean, that means from distribution to generation to, what's the other part of it? Transmission, distribution, generation, all being private hands? Oh, well, it's a proposal, really. And yes. Payment of to Nigerian cost of living, federal government to begin making payment. Okay. All right. I just wanted you to know that story. Let's look at one more story quickly, and I'll go back to the phone lines and get to hear from you. And that's the Kaduna State Governor, Henry Mara Zachariah. That's how the name is pronounced, yeah? The chairman of the Kaduna State House Committee on Information has alleged that the government of former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai mercilessly looted the state. On Wednesday, the Kaduna State House of Assembly indicted former Governor El-Rufai and several of his aides for allegedly siphoning over 423 billion naira of the state resources from 2015 to 2023. The House also asked the Governor Basani to refer those indicted, including former commissioners for finance, heads of agencies, accountant general who served during the period under review, to relevant security agencies for further investigation. Mara, during the TV interview, alleged that El-Rufai's administration was enmeshed in corruption. And he said quite a lot. I mean, given certain breakdown, that when he came in, the total debt was 235 billion naira. When El-Rufai came in as $1 billion, I beg your pardon. But in his 8 years in government, he single-handedly took $758 million. By the time he came into office in 2015, the domestic debt was completely wiped out, but left about $33 billion. Go check his handover note. How much did he leave for us? The money collected to execute these projects, over 60% of the projects were abandoned. It would take Kaduna 20 years to complete what he left behind. Where is the integrity, he said. And He added that any person who has signature on contract during El-Rufai will be invited, saying El-Rufai would be given a chance to defend himself.
Get ready to take your taste buds on an adventure with Eat Right. Experience meals made with love, served with smiles and a chilled, refreshing bottle of Pepsi. But that's not all, guys.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.